just a comedy show at this stage. It's just a comedy show. It's beyond a comedy show. So Leo was on CNN. He went over to America. I don't know why he went over to America, but he was on CNN anyway. And he more or less said 94% and nearly 95% of the population is vaccinated, right? And you'd be like, that's very, very good. Beforehand they said, the more people get vaccinated, X, Y, and Z, there'll be no restrictions or anything. That the more people get vaccinated, herd immunity, all that. That's gone. That's just literally gone out the window. The media haven't even touched it. That literally fucked off. As soon as that narrative was finished, they just fucked it off and just started spreading some other bullshit. But yeah. So Leo was on CNN and he said 5% of the population is really just basically, in other words, ruining the fun for the whole country. Which doesn't make any sense. Like 5%, if you have 5% of something and you have 95%, the vast majority of people, are doing what the government say and you're giving out about the 5%. Again, it doesn't make any sense, and this is what I always say, it doesn't add up. It really doesn't add up. Like, you have to think for yourself. You can't have RTE saying RTE wouldn't let you think for yourself. They wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want you actually thinking outside the box and actually thinking for yourself. No, you have to be told. You have to be spoon fed of what you need to be say, what you need to take and what you need to say. That sounds like China, to be totally honest with you. You're told what to say. You're told what to do. You're told when to do it. You're told how to say it. And in this country, if you shout anything, if you say anything that gets the government's out of you, add the facts, add the this, add the other. And again, it's only an opinion. You have every entitlement under the sun to ways ask a question. That's what life's all about. You ask questions, you find out things. If we didn't ask questions, we wouldn't know anything at all what was happening in the world. But yeah, so Leo basically is coming out with that, and where is he pulling it out of his arse? And again, RT and the media, speaking of the media, in this country are losing the plot altogether at the moment. They're literally losing the plot because they're literally whinging and quibbling and crying. I've never seen such whinging and quibbling and crying in my life. Like, the media are the biggest people pushing for a lockdown. Like, literally, they're giving the government the plate. And the government need to take the plate. Just need to they're giving the government, they're handing out the plate, and the government just need to take the plate. In other words, so basically they're putting it on the plate for the government to take it and to use it and say, the people want it. Even though like Fergal Bowers of RTE, the health correspondent, came out with this and said no, there was no explanation where he got this data or anything, but half the people in Ireland want the lockdown because the HSE and X, Y, and Z. Doesn't make any sense. All the people I know around here are just like, fucking, we fed up with this fucking government. They're all useless pricks. People are suffering. There's more people suffering now than ever did before. And they're talking about locking down the country and talking about just destroying businesses and destroying people's lives because people can't take it. That's as simple as that. We can't. And I say this straight to you now. And if I have a YouTuber I disagrees with, tough. It's really tough. But, we can't allow it. We have to take to the streets. We have to cause as much hassle as we can. If they do come out and say, full on lockdown, lock everything down for Christmas, we won't allow it. We can't allow it. We see in Austria at the moment, they're going totally 1930s Germany. But again, as we know, the 1930 leader of Germany came from Austria, and that's what it's turning into. Mandated vaccines and things like that. Again, pro-choice and things like that, having your choice and things like that. That's completely gone out the window in Austria. Completely gone out the window. But people in Austria are standing up and saying no, simply no. And that's why they had to lock down the whole country, because even people that were vaccinated were uproaring about it. And so they had to lock the whole country down to shut everybody up, and threaten them with huge fines and everything like that. So that's what they done in Austria. So, because people were just literally, and let's just be honest here for a second, Austria has a lower vaccination rate, 24% or something like that. The population's vaccinated, or 8 million. In this country's 94 or 95%. It doesn't make any sense. Again, the word is sense. There's no sense in this country. There's no sense in the world. We're all literally in a daze, and we're literally just following the leader. In other words, these fucking puppets that are just in Dáil Éireann, and these fucking puppets that are probably in the Austrian parliament, they don't have a fucking notion of what they're doing. But they do have a notion, let's be honest, they have an idea of what they're doing. They know when the pharmaceutical companies come and put a few pop in their pockets. They know who's the master then. But yeah, the people, they don't care about the people. But yeah, it's just common, and especially in the Netherlands too. Look what's happening, and people are white to rebel. To be totally honest, people are white to rebel. Because it's not up really to the government anymore to decide of what they could do, because it's been going on 3 years now. We can't put up with it anymore, and the whole world can't put up with it. And it's about time people took to the streets. I said enough is enough, because and again we see these lunatics in Dáil Éireann, and there's no word to describe them. Lunatics. I talk about it later on, but the lunatics are purely just lunatics. And one more time they extend emergency powers. Stephen Donnelly said, remember that if the probably was to spend elections in 2024 because people like me be winning, and will completely just tear the whole narrative to pieces. But in 2024, I'm telling you, if you're living in Wicklow, don't vote Stephen Donnelly. Whatever you do, don't vote for Stephen Donnelly in the general election. Whatever you do. You're seriously just destroying this country if you do vote for Stephen Donnelly. Oh, any of the other ones, like, you wouldn't go near them. And to be told, I wouldn't go near them. I vote for somebody. I vote for anybody, independent or something. Even though they're not, you don't know them too well or whatever. Vote for them just to get rid of Stephen Donnelly. Because he's obviously just not well, to be totally honest. He's just pure obsessed with power and control, and this is what the country is. But it's just crazy. It's just really just crazy. But yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And I wanted to talk about Wexford, and how they have 99 point something percent of the population are vaccinated. Very, barely 0.5% of the population that are unvaccinated, and apparently they have the highest COVID rates in the country. And they have the highest vaccination rate in the European Union. And we're here saying that they have the highest that alone, the media hasn't explained it. Like, RTE should have done a big investigation saying how explain, and should have brought Luke O'Neill, the nuts professor, in, and said, Luke O'Neill, you said that you said about all this and X, Y, and Z, and they're all gone to sleep. And there's no sign of Dr. Tony Holohan asking these questions. No, the media have literally gone to sleep on this topic. But anyway, let me know what you think.